As you guys know, my grandfather, he also woke up from the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses. And every week, me and him, we have a great conversation. This past week, we were saying how it's so easy for witnesses to shun people. It'll shun people who leave the organization. The minute you tell Jehovah's Witness, I no longer believe, I don't have faith, I'm done with this religion. The minute you say that, it doesn't matter how long you knew that person, how close you was, how many conversations, it don't matter. That's irrelevant. The minute you tell Jehovah's Witness you no longer believe, you will see their true colors and you will be shunned. And, I told my grandfather, I said, you know what? It makes sense. It's sad, but it makes sense because if the roots of the religion, if the foundation of the religion, if that's fake, you can't expect real friends. You can't expect real love from if the source is fake. If the foundation, if the roots of it is fake, of course the people are gonna be fake. Of course the love is gonna be fake. It's all gonna be fake because the foundation, the roots of it is fake. But with witnesses, when they try to preach to people, as we know, they love on people, right? They don't show people their true colors. They pretend like they're a lovely, dovely organization or a lovely, dovely worldwide brotherhood. Initially, at first, they'll do that until you start to ask questions, until you express to them that you have doubts. That's when it's a whole different ball game. But that's one way that's one way that the witnesses are fake. That's one way that they prove to everybody that this is nothing. It's nothing but a facade. What they call love, it really is it's a facade. It's a mask. Because if they were true to themselves and other people, as harmful as they know the shunning policy is, whether you disassociate or whether you're the fellowship or remove, whatever, right? They know how harmful the shunning policy is, right? They know how hard it is, how horrible it is. They will never express it publicly because, as we know, they have to go with the flow. They have to nod their head. Yes, governing body leader. Yes, elder. Whatever you say, we do. They can never disagree, right? But they know that the shunning policy is harmful. Whether, like I said, whether you disassociate or if you be removed from the congregation. As harmful as it is, don't you think that that's the very first thing that they should talk about at the very first meeting with them, the very first book study? Hey, we want to give you guys a heads up before we go along with the study. I just want to prepare you. I want you to brace yourself. We have a policy in place. It's called being removed. Whether you do anything immoral, whether you smoke cigarettes, you engage in sexual immorality, you do anything that's extremely immoral, you might be shunned by us. And also, we kind of got to give you a heads up. Once you get baptized with us, we don't want you to associate with anybody who's not a Jehovah's Witness, including your blood relatives, your family. So if your mom, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, if they're not Jehovah's Witnesses, you kind of have to keep some distance from them. We want to give you a heads up, so we don't want you to be surprised later on. That's why I'll be telling you this now. Do you still want to have a study with us, or? You see, witnesses, they don't do that initially. That's the very, very first thing that they should talk about when they have the very first study with people who are interested. But no, they try to hook them with this fake ass, oh, you want to live forever? Oh, we heard your parents passed away in a car accident last week. You want to see them again? Well, we know a way that you can see them again. Come study with us. You see, they're good at getting people who are vulnerable. My mom, she was a single mother in her early 20s, struggling. And she heard about this organization. Next thing you know, boop, 40 years later, trapped. They get people who are vulnerable, people who are struggling, people who lost somebody in death. But You see how fake it is? When a Jehovah's Witness approach you, right? It's not genuine. They're not approaching you to try to be your friend. They're not approaching you to see how you're doing. They're approaching you to see if you might be interested in joining their religion. And oh, you're not? You're not interested? All right. Take care. Have a nice life. Even when people aren't interested, right? I wish people would study Jehovah's Witnesses so that more people could be aware of how toxic this organization really is. I wish people could do experiments, you know? I wish somebody could go to a meeting and pretend like they're interested. After a few weeks or even a month, you turn around and say, oh, you know what? I'm not interested after all. You know, you guys have been so friendly. After every meeting, you guys hug me. You guys invited me out to eat with you. After every meeting, you guys were so lovely. So even though I'm going to go back to my previous religion, my Baptist church, I still want to hang out with you guys because you guys are so friendly. Can we hang out sometime? We know damn well Jehovah's Witness, they would lie. Oh, yeah. They would either lie to them, right? Or they'll say, oh, well, it's rare that a witness is honest, but you know, they were probably say, oh, well, you're not really interested, and we kind of only hang out with people who are in our belief. I can't see a witness saying that, right? But if they were to say that, that would prove to everybody and a person that was once studying with them that, oh, these people are fake. They only cared about me. They only showed love to me because I was going to the meetings. But now I'm telling them I don't want to go to their meetings anymore, but I still want to hang out with them. And they don't want to hang out with me. That means that their love is fake. You see, this is the fake culture of Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't even know, subconsciously, they're not even aware how fake they are. Because, like I said, they should tell people right away. The minute people are interested in studying with them, hey guys, we have a shunning policy. That should be the very first thing. As harmful, people who died from being shunned. Sometimes people don't come back 100% up here. It fucks them up for life from being shunned. As harmful as the shunning policy is, that is the very first thing every Jehovah's Witness should be talking about in the very beginning. But they're quick to talk about, like I said, this fake ass paradise shit that they've been talking about for 150 fucking years. So they could talk about something that they can't even prove is ever going to happen. Well, it's not going to happen, but they can't prove that it's actually going to happen, right? They're quick to talk about something that's imaginary, that's fake. But something that's real, as harmful and toxic as shunning, being removed, the fellowship, they don't talk about that. Make it make sense. Boys and girls, make it make sense. I don't get it. So, I wish there was a Jehovah's Witness that would watch this video and see that deep down inside, they know everything I'm saying is facts. I speak no lie. Everything I'm saying is facts. They know this, right? But you have to come in terms with yourself and be like, oh shit, he's right. You know what? We really don't show genuine agape love. I'm not talking about that conditional, fake Jehovah's Witness love. We love you if we only see you at the meetings. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about true agape love. I'm talking about, oh shit, I haven't seen Brother Smith in a while. Let me call him up just to see how he's doing. Instead of, oh, let me call him up to see if he's inactive, if he's having doubts. Let me see how he's doing. Let me see what Mr. Smith is about. Brother Smith is about. The minute someone stops going to the meeting, oh, I haven't seen them in a while. There might be bad association after all. They might be inactive. You know what? Let's keep some distance from them the next time we see them. Because they haven't been coming to the meeting for the last several months. Instead of, hey, let me see how this person is doing. They could be down and out. They could be dead. We don't know. Let me just call them, text them, see how they're doing. You see how fake the love is in our organization? It's so superficial. We only care about people who come to the meetings and comment and go out in service. So that means their allegiance is with the governing body leaders. I made a video about this. Jehovah's Witnesses are now governing body witnesses. Because at the end of the day, Jehovah's Witnesses, their allegiance is with the governing body leaders. It's not with Jehovah. It's not with the Bible. That's for damn sure. The Bible says, second commandment, love love thy neighbor as you love thyself. Jehovah's Witnesses say, fuck that. We only love other Jehovah's Witnesses. We don't love nobody else. Neighbor? Fuck the neighbors. The fuck? Neighbors? We don't care about no damn neighbors. We only care about Jehovah's Witnesses. And even then, they better be going to the meetings. And they better be going out in service. Neighbors? Fuck out of here. The fuck? Please. Nigga, please. Let me stop. But, yeah, it's such a fake culture. It's such a fake culture. It's not even funny. And, me and my grandfather, we had a really good laugh about that. And I try to encourage ex-witnesses every time they get down and out from, especially this time, the holiday season. Every time ex-witnesses, ex-members, they get down and out, right? I try to remind them that in the end, right, long term, it's the witnesses who's going to suffer. It's the witnesses, because they're putting on a facade. They're lying to themselves, they're lying to everybody else, talking about end of days, paradise right around the corner, any day now, right? They're lying to themselves because they've been saying this for 150 years. How do you still have faith, knowing that if you truly believe that a loving God will allow his people to be born and raised, patiently wait for something, and they never get it? They don't see paradise. They see death instead of paradise. They see their caskets instead of paradise. If you truly believe that a loving God would allow people to patiently wait and grow old and die while never seeing paradise, then you, my friend, are smoking crack. Because that is not a loving God. That is not a loving God at all. No way in hell. If you told me that you coming my way, you know that I'm patiently waiting. You're like, oh, Jerron, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Okay, I'm waiting 10 minutes. 15 minutes go by, 20 minutes go by. I'm like, yo, where you at, bro? Where you at? You said 10 minutes. That was 20 minutes ago. If you keep saying, oh, I'll be there, I'm right around. Yo, I'm right around the corner, yo. I'm literally right around. I'm pulling up right now. Another 5 minutes go by. Now I'm getting anxious right now. I'm like, yo, what's going on, bro? You think I'm gonna still keep waiting and waiting and waiting? You think I'm gonna wait another hour? Try 150 years. Try 150 years. So it puzzles me how witnesses, they know they've been saying this for decades. For decades, they've been talking about end is right around the corner. For decades, they've been having faith. Faith in a God that they can't even verify is true. Faith in a man-made organization. Faith in the governing body leaders. When the governing body leaders even said that we're not inspired. We don't communicate with God. We're infallible. We make mistakes. It came out of the governing body leaders' own mouth that they're not even inspired by God. And yet you still have millions of people slaving for these 11, 12 men in upstate New York. Make it make sense. Now, a Jehovah's Witness would say, oh, they're not inspired by God, but they're still led by the Holy Spirit. And I would say to Jehovah's Witness, can you prove that, please? Before I devote my entire life to this organization, before I give up my hopes and dreams, before I start shunning my own family, can you prove 100%? No, 1,000,000%. Because I'm literally giving up every aspect of my life toward this organization. Can you prove, forget faith, can you prove that these men truly are God's chosen vessel on planet Earth? Because if you can't prove nothing, then I ain't doing nothing. It's that simple. But yet you still have witnesses blindly believing in this group of men. And it all comes down to this facade, having this fake ass faith that they can't even prove is true. That they can't even prove that the governing body leaders is God's spokesman. They can't even prove that. They can't prove that the governing body leaders truly are God's people on planet Earth. You just have to have faith, and it's common sense. As the years go by, people are going to get older. Eventually, we're all going to pass away, one way or another. We're all going to pass away. But yet you still have people and religions, not just Jehovah's Witnesses. But this is why I personally feel like men created religion, because it gives people this false hope. And I understand we all want to believe in something, right? It's good to have hope and have faith. It's good. But at the same time, you shouldn't have to give up this one life that we know we're living right now. You shouldn't have to sacrifice your one life for a potential, maybe, possible, if, I don't know, what's going to happen in the next world. Nobody knows. There might be an afterlife, might not. It might be blackness, pure black. We might just be dead and done with. Or it might be our souls could travel to another gap. Who knows? We don't know. But I wouldn't sacrifice this one life that I have right now and pray for a maybe in the next world or next life or whatever. Or from having faith that you can't even prove. You can't even prove it's true. You can't prove that Jehovah really is a true God. You can't prove that the Bible was written by inspired men. You cannot prove that the governing body leaders truly are God's chosen vessel on planet Earth. You can't prove none of it. You just got to let your life pass you by and have faith that paradise really is going to happen. And I say, hell to the fuck no. Hell no. That's why it no longer hurts me knowing that I'm being shunned by my family and former Jehovah's Witness friends. It doesn't hurt me anymore because I had to change my perspective. I had to change my outcome on a whole situation. Now, they're taking the easy way out by having other people, by having the governing body leaders think for them. They're taking the easy way out by thinking they're in a brotherhood, right? But all these millions of Jehovah's Witnesses, they're never going to experience something that I recently experienced. Well, since I left the organization, right? They're never going to experience true agape love. Now, a Jehovah's Witness to another Jehovah's Witness, at best, is an acquaintance. They're not real friends. If you could easily shun somebody just for having a different belief system, just for asking an abundance of questions, if you could easily shun somebody just because someone is being 100% honest with you, that's not your real friend. So this quote unquote brotherhood, all these 8 million witnesses worldwide, they're acquaintances that's just gonna die with other acquaintances. They're not gonna die knowing what real love is, real friendship is, that true agape love. They're never gonna experience that shit. So shun me, block me, never talk to me ever again, have a nice life. Because when I die, I'm not dying living this fake ass facade like the witnesses. I'm gonna die being surrounded by true friends, and I'm gonna die knowing how it feels to experience real agape love. A Jehovah's Witness can never say that. So in the end, us ex-members, we win. We win in the end. Well, we winning now because we living our lives authentically. Jehovah's Witnesses, they're not living their lives freely. They're never gonna know how it feels to be free. Never. And it's all from it's a fake ass culture of Jehovah's Witnesses. Like I said, the foundation of it is fake. The roots of it is fake. You can't expect anything real from it. It's like having a fake friend. Imagine having a fake friend, right? How can you expect them to be real? How can you expect them to be loyal when they're fake? They were fake from day one. So when they fuck you over, you can't be surprised because you knew they were fake. Likewise, it's the same with the organization. If the essence, the roots, everything about this organization is fake, it's not even a religion. It's a publishing company disguised as a religion. So of course, the love is going to be fake. The quote unquote friends of the organization is going to be fake. It's all fake because the roots of it is fake. And recently, you had there was a watchtower for witnesses recently, stating how it was pretty much saying how some of you may not live to even see the Great Tribulation, which is a complete slap in the face to witnesses. Imagine slaving your entire life for this organization with this blind-ass faith and this blind-ass hope that you can't even prove that paradise really is going to happen. You just have so much faith that in your mind, you make it the truth. You make it the truth, right? But anyway, imagine your entire life, you slaving for this organization with this fake-ass faith, right? Paradise don't come, you getting older. And then you stumble across a Watchtower article that says, oh, some of you may not even live to see the Great Tribulation. Say what, motherfucker? Huh? Wait, You just said that we was in the last of the last of the last of the last days, Stephen Leonard. Back in 2020, you said that. Now this Watchtower article is saying we're not going to even live to see the Great Tribulation? Whoa. Whew. Time is the one thing we can never, ever get back. I always stress this. And it's sad that witnesses, they have so much fake faith in this organization. It's real to them, but it's a fake organization. It's a fake religion. Paradise ain't coming, so it's fake faith, right? They have so much fake faith in this fake-ass religion that even when they read articles like that, telling them, slap in the face, oh, you're not going to live to see, you ain't seeing paradise, buddy. So you wasted the last 50 plus years for nothing. This is all part of the fake culture of Jehovah's Witnesses. It doesn't even have to make sense anymore. And witnesses will still blindly believe, giving away the one life that we have. Just giving it away. For a fake-ass faith that they can't even prove that paradise really is true. They can't prove that none of this is true. You just got to live out your life. And you know, it's crazy with the things that people do to try to escape death. Because that's the root of this, right? When I scratch my head and I wonder, I say, how are witnesses still believing in this? When it's so obvious that this is a man-made religion, it's so obvious that all this is fake. How do they still fall for this nonsense, right? But the very, very root of it, when it comes down to it, right? Two things. People do not want to admit that they wasted all this time, whether it was several years or several decades, slaving for this organization. They don't want to have to come to terms that they did all that for nothing, right? So they have a blind eye and just keep going. And two, people subconsciously, they're trying to escape death. Because if they come into terms that this really is not the truth, this is all fake, they're going to start to ask, they're going to start to wonder, then what's the real truth? What's the real religion? What does religion provide? It provides a quote-unquote hope of some type of afterlife or next life, right? Because at the end of the day, people don't want to believe that this is it. That we only on this planet for, 70, 80, 90 years and we dead? This is it? People don't want to believe that. So if you take away the fact that this organization is not the truth, the witness is going to start to wonder, oh shit, if this is not the truth, then what is? Then that means I'm going to die one day? This is it? No, I don't want to die. That's what it really comes down to. Subconsciously. A lot of people are not in tune with their subconscious thoughts, right? But that's the reason why most witnesses, even when it don't make sense, the religion, the people, the love, everything is so fake, right? And it's so obvious that this is a man-made organization. It's so obvious that this is not the truth, right? But subconsciously, people are trying to escape their quote-unquote fate, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all going to pass away one day. Whether that day is tomorrow or whether that day is 50 plus years from now. No one lives forever, right? But witnesses try to escape that by religion, by this cult. Because this cult, just like other cults, it provides a false hope for something. And that hope keeps them going. It keeps them sane. So even when it don't make sense to their minds, they have to make it make sense. Because no one wants to come into terms that, oh shit, this is not the truth. I'm going to die one day? Oh, man. No one wants to come to that reality. Even though that's, like I said, we all going to meet that fate one day, right? But it's sad how witnesses, this organization, their thinking, everything about it is just so superficial. Even the love within, quote unquote, the love within, right? Within the organization. Not everybody gets love equally. We all see how circuit overseers are treated versus everybody else. What happens when a circus sale come over out of nowhere? Brother meanie pants over there, is brother nice. He all smiling when normally he's grumpy during the meeting. But now he all smiling and cheerful and woo. Like, hold on, who this brother? Mr. Grumpy Pants is now happy? Oh, the circle overseer here. Okay, figures. There we go. Now I'll do it. So it's crazy how people, like I said, subconsciously, they're not aware how fake and phony they're being. Why are you acting differently when a circuit overseer comes versus when he's not there? They're not aware that they're slaving for men. One way or another, they're either slaving for the elders, circuit overseers, governing body leaders. This is all for men, right? This is all for show. You get more love when you're a pioneer versus when you're not a pioneer. You get more love in an organization when you're a minister servant or an elder versus when you're a nobody, right? It's all about status and it's all superficial. But I wish witnesses would be more aware of, hey, what I'm doing is not genuine. Why am I only showing love? Why am I love bombing this interested person who's coming to the meetings, but the minute he gets baptized, I know damn well I'm not going to talk to him. I'm not going to hang out with him. I might see him at the meeting, hey, what's up, brother? But other than that, we ain't hanging out. They're not aware that they're being fake. And of course, I'm throwing myself under the bus because I was like this too, right? And I wish that when I was a witness, I wish I had people to kind of check me, because we all need that. You know, witnesses, they need somebody to check them. Be like, hey, listen, what you're doing is not genuine. And what you're doing is not right. You could call me an apostate or whatever. You could call me anything you want. But someone who's trying to help you think critically. Because the last thing I want people to do, like I always say, I don't want people to waste their entire lives slaving for this organization. And it's sad that millions of people already lost their life and death waiting for paradise. Why should millions more? I mean, like I said, we all gonna pass away one day, but at least pass away being your true self. But they give into this fake ass paradise. They keep running on a hamster wheel until they grow old and eventually pass away. All that for what? Preaching, going out service, coming at the meetings. For what? Like I said earlier, witnesses, they think they have a true brotherhood, right? They will never, ever experience. As long as they are in that religion, they will never, ever experience true agape love. They're just going to die being surrounded by acquaintances. That's all they are. They're just acquaintances. And if you're an ex-witness that left this organization, you cannot put a price on freedom. As you already know, your freedom, when you get a taste of real love, real friendship, and freedom, right? It's priceless. It's priceless. So if you're a witness watching this video, all I want you to do is start to think critically. That's all I want you to do. Use your brain. It's common sense. As the years get older, eventually you're going to pass away. You're going to get older and pass away. Before that happens, why wouldn't you want to live your life authentically? Why wouldn't you want to live your life for yourself instead of slaving for this fear-mongering organization? The governing body leaders, they're showing you their true colors. They keep contradicting themselves. 2020, Stephen said that we're living in the final parts of the last days. And then he recently gave a talk saying, when is paradise going to come? We don't know. We don't know. We're not psychics, motherfucker. We don't got an 8-ball. We don't know. But keep saving and serving Jehovah anyway. Keep doing it anyway. It's sad. It truly is it's sad what people do for a fake hope, you know? And while we're on this topic, before I end this video, I'm manifesting my dreams. I'm putting it out there. I told a few of my good friends already, but One thing I always wanted to do, since I left the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses, that's only one step, right? A lot of people leave and they don't thrive in life, right? They just remain stagnant because they were stagnant as witnesses, right? So when you leave the cult, you got to thrive, you got to excel, you want to be the best version that you possibly can be, right? So with that being said, I was thinking about what I always wanted to do, right? And one thing I always wanted to do, I want to make people laugh. Like I said earlier, we on this planet for a short period of time. We might as well enjoy it to the max, right? So I want to make people laugh and smile, and I want to be a stand-up comedian. So I'm manifesting my dreams little by little, putting it out there. I want to encourage everybody. Do not live a fake life for anybody. Live the life that you want to live. We only have one life to live. This is it. This is it. There's no take backs. So live your life authentically, and please stay away from the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses. I'll see you guys later.